This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, September 28th in 2011, the baseball season went cuckoo bananas 10 years ago. So the 2011 baseball season ended with the division winners being the New York Yankees, the Detroit Tigers, the Texas Rangers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Strange as it sounds, that every division winner won their division by at least 6 games. There wasn't a race for a division. It was basically over. So, yeah. But the wild card berths were huge. Now, the 2011 playoffs season had 4 teams qualify in each league. The olden days, in the era between 1901 and 1968, if you weren't first in the AL or NL, no playoffs / World Series for you. 1969, they added, with the addition of 4 teams to Major League Baseball, they decided to change the format to 2 divisions, 6 teams in each division, in the AL and NL. Whoever won those divisions, the East and the West, would be in a best of 5 LCS to determine who goes to the best of 7 World Series. That format kind of changed in 1985 when it was changed to a best of 7 for the League Championship Series. A lot of people said this was because the Cubs blew a 2-0 series lead in '84, and they were sentimental darlings that wanted to get to the World Series, but they failed. It's been disputed. Anyway, that format actually screwed the 1985 playoffs because, yes, the Blue Jays blew a 3-1 lead, and before 1985, they would have been to the World Series. That's the part that ticks me off. Not just because it's my birth year as well, but because, 3-1, they were going to World Series. Would they have won it? I don't know. But it also had an impact on the NLCS, too, if it was best of 5. Everyone knows about Jack Clark's home run in Game 6 to clinch the LCS for the Cardinals and got to the World Series against Kansas City. But people forget. Some people forget. In Game 5, Ozzie Smith, who never hits a home run left-handed, actually poked one into the right field stands at Busch Stadium. Well, Busch Stadium 2. Not the one St. Louis is in now. But, St. Louis won that series. But Ozzie Smith would have had, his home run would have had instant credibility as a pennant-clinching home run. Kind of in the vein of Bobby Thompson's 1951 home run. And Chris Chambliss in '76. That would have been amazing. But yeah. Anyhow, so then the Major League Baseball, once they expanded to 26 teams by 1993, well, they were going up to 28, sorry. Yeah, 28 in 1993. They decided to change the format for the 94 season. There would be 14 teams in each league. And it would be 6 divisions, an East, a Central, and the West within the AL and NL. Those 3 winners and the best team not to win the division, aka the wild card, would play and all that. People forget that 94 was the first season that they were going to do the wildcard format, but of course, due to the super strike, that didn't happen until 95. Now, there was a little bit of a caveat, though. If you were the wildcard winner, you could not face, and the number 1 seed was in your own division, you can't face them. So yeah, that's the thing, though, too. Now, so 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, but because the wild card. But if the wild card, as I said, the wild card and the division winner were in the same division, they couldn't meet. They would have to face, wild card would be number 2, and then it was 1 versus 3. So anyhow, that was the norm until 2011, and then things changed. So, headed into the last month of 2011, there were a lot of races. But the wildcard races looked like it was going to be easy, that Boston and Atlanta would clinch. So anyway, Boston and Atlanta were looking good in the wildcard races as of Labor Day. But on Labor Day, Labor Day 2011, the Red Sox would face the Toronto Blue Jays at the Rogers Center, and Brett Lawrie hit a walk-off home run, and that caused Boston to collapse. Boston had a 7.5 game lead at one point, and Atlanta had like a 5.5 game lead. They were looking pretty good and all that. So let's go to the National League wildcard race because that actually had less drama than the American League race. So St. Louis and Atlanta were fighting for the wildcard spot. St. Louis would need some help. So St. Louis was in Houston playing at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, whereas Philly and Atlanta would play at 7:10. So Atlanta needed to win the wild card. A loss and a St. Louis win meant that Atlanta needed to win and have St. Louis lose too. They were tied for the wild card. If both St. Louis and Atlanta won or lost, or they both lost, it'd be a 1-game playoff. St. Louis took care of business. Chris Carpenter was workmanlike, only giving up 2 hits. It was amazing what he did. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, Philly and Atlanta went through the night. Atlanta had a chance up 3-2 in the ninth to win the game and to force probably a tiebreaker. So anyway, the Braves tried their best, but Philly scored 1 in the ninth, and then in the 13th, the Phillies scored. Atlanta would ground out to a double play, ending Chipper Jones's career. I thought it ended Chipper Jones's career, but it didn't. Anyway, Scott Linebrake was the loser. The save went to David Herndon. Dan Uggla went deep for Atlanta, but that was it. Philly won 4-3, knocking Atlanta out. Atlanta lost. St. Louis qualified for the playoffs as the wild card. They would not have to worry about things. They wouldn't have to play Milwaukee, who won the NL Central, because Milwaukee was the 2 seed. So St. Louis would have to deal with Philly. Whereas Milwaukee would now take on Arizona. So that was it. But over the American League, there were a lot of things. The Red Sox had a great chance, but they had a slump, a massive slump. The game went down to the last game. All Boston needed to do was practically win. Boston held a 3-2 lead when the skies opened up in the 7th inning. For 1 hour 26 minutes, it was delayed. Now, they could have just said 5 innings were played and Boston would have won, but I think they didn't want to cheat the fans. So fans stayed. Boston had a few chances after the rain delay to score an insurance run, but failed. So in the 9th, Jonathan Papelbon, a reliable closer, came into the game and looked good. In fact, with 2 outs and 1 strike, Chris Davis would hit a double. Nolan Reimold would hit a ground rule double to tie the game. And then Robert Andino hit a line drive, which Carl Crawford body caught, but he missed. Crawford had to bounce back, throw the ball to home plate because they were going for the winning run. But Reimold scored. Baltimore won. So Boston had just lost. But Boston could still go to a 1-game playoff if Tampa fucked up. The Yankees were the AL East champions, and the Rays were doing terrible and all that. But the Rays shocked everyone by going to the things. So anyway, Joe Girardi of the Yankees said that he's going to throw his starting pitchers in that will probably not be part of the rotation for the ALDS against the Detroit Tigers. As it were. Now, because Boston and Tampa were fighting for the wild card spots, and they're both in the same division as the number 1 seed New York Yankees, They couldn't face the Yankees. The Yankees would face Detroit, which meant that whoever won this series would have to take on Texas. So anyway, the Yankees somehow, despite Girardi not really throwing his best starting pitching around, actually had a 7-0 lead after 5 innings, which was amazing. That lead went to the bottom of the 8th. It looked good. But in the bottom of the 8th, the Rays would score 6 runs, including a 3-run home run by Evan Longoria. So his first home run of the day. So in the bottom of the 9th, the Yankees had one more strike on Tampa, and it would have been game over. And Boston, if they had won their rain delayed game, would win the wild card, or at worst go to a 1-game playoff against Tampa. But Dan Johnson, who somehow came off the bench and he wasn't good, hit a solo home run down the right field line to his second home run of the year and tied the game. The Yankees had a couple of problems. So the Yankees had a couple of chances and failed. And then in the bottom of the 12th, Evan Longoria just cleared the left field's short wall to win the game for the Rays, just minutes after the Orioles beat the Red Sox. So the Rays got the wild card. In fact, in Tampa, seat number 10 in the first row behind the right field foul pole has been painted in honor of Dan Johnson's home run. And they renamed the section beyond the left field foul pole 162 Landing. So Tampa had just knocked Boston out of the playoffs. And the Yankees blew a 7-0 lead. In the postseason, Detroit would shock the Yankees in 5 games to move on to the ALCS, where Texas would crush them in 6 games. Well, Texas beat Tampa 3-1. But Texas beat Detroit to win the LCS. St. Louis would shock everyone by winning the best of 5, 3-2 against the number 1 seed Phillies. Milwaukee would need a walk-off hit to beat Arizona for the chance to be in the LCS. And St. Louis would take care of Milwaukee in 6 games. But of course, the 2011 World Series, maybe it'll be a topic on this day. Who knows? But anyway, I'm not going to spoil the 2011 final shots for you. You can probably figure it out for yourself. Anyway, what a time to be a baseball fan. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.